This is the Progress Check 3 summary video for intermediate algebra. The learning targets are to identify the key characteristics of quadratic equations from standard form, that is the x-intercepts, y-intercept, line of symmetry, and the vertex. Also to identify these key characteristics of quadratic equations from factored form, and then to sketch an accurate graph of quadratic equations using their key characteristics. There's different strategies to use. For the x-intercepts in standard form, you want to use the quadratic formula. For factored form, you want to set each factor equal to 0 and then solve for x. For y-intercepts for both forms, you want to plug in 0 for x and then solve for y. For the line of symmetry in standard form, you want to use the equation x equals negative b over 2a. For factored form, you want to add the two x-intercepts together and then divide by 2. For vertex form, for both forms, you want to, the x value is the line of symmetry, and then for the y value, you want to plug that number you got for the line of symmetry and for x, and then solve for y. Now our first example is written in standard form, so we want to use the strategies for standard form. So for our x-intercepts, we're going to use the quadratic formula. So this is negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the opposite of negative 8 is 8. So we'll have 8 over 2 times 1 because 1 is a, plus or minus the square root of negative 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 9. But negative 9 is the c value from the equation, and then divided by 2a. So when we simplify inside the square root, we'll have 64 plus 36, so our new equation is 8 divided by 2 plus or minus the square root of 64 plus 36 divided by 2. And then 64 plus 36 is 100, so the next two steps are to simplify that, so we'll have 8 divided by 2 plus or minus the square root of 100 divided by 2. And then the square root of 100 is 10, so then we'll have 8 divided by 2 plus or minus 10 divided by 2. Then we want to split it off into plus and minus, so 8 plus 10 is 18, 8 minus 10 is negative 2, so we have 18 divided by 2, and negative 2 divided by 2, which is x equals 9, and x equals negative 1. We're not finished yet. We want to put it into ordered pairs. So we'll have 9, 0, and then negative 1, 0. And then you want to write it at top below the equation. For the y-intercepts, we want to plug 0 in for x. So we'll have y equals 0 squared minus 8 times 0 minus 9. So then we'll have 0 minus 9. Here it says that I put y equals 9. That's a mistake on my part. It should be a negative 9. And then we need to put it in ordered pairs. So again, it says 0, 9. It should be 0, negative 9. For the line of symmetry, we're going to use the equation negative b over 2a. So the opposite of negative 8 is 8. The a value is 1. So we have 8 divided by 2 times 1, which is 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And then you want to write it as x equals 4 because the line of symmetry is an equation. It's not an ordered pair. For the vertex, the x value is the line of symmetry, and then the y value is the line of symmetry plugged in for x. So we'll have 4 squared minus 8 times 4 minus 9 because 4 is the x value. And so then we have 16 minus 32 minus 9, which equals negative 25. So 4 is the x value, negative 25 is the y value. Now we just have to put in ordered pairs as 4, negative 25. Now it's time to graph and plot the points. Don't forget you want to label every single point as ordered pairs and then write x equals 4 on the line of symmetry as an equation. Now here you notice at top I changed some of the numbers and changed the y-intercept to 0, negative 9 because when I was plotting these points, the points didn't match up with the y-intercept as 0, 9, and that's when I caught my mistake. So now it is fixed to negative 9. and then you plot your graph, and you're done for that one. Don't forget, label all the points in the line of symmetry. Okay, for our second example, this equation is in factored form, so we need to use the strategies using factored form. So our x-intercepts, we're going to set the factors equal to 0 and solve. So we'll have x plus 3 equals 0 and x minus 7 equals 0. We're going to subtract 3 from each side to get x equals negative 3, and then add 7 to each side to get x equals 7. But we're not done because we need to put them in ordered pairs, so we'll have negative 3, 0 and 7, 0. For the y-intercepts, you want to plug 0 in for x. So you'll have negative 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 minus 7. So that'll be negative 2 times 3 times negative 7, which is a positive 42. Want to put that in ordered pair, so you'll have 0, 42. For the line of symmetry, you want to add the x-intercepts together and then divide by 2. So you'll have negative 3 plus 7 divided by 2, which is 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Don't forget, this is an equation, so you want to write it as x equals 2. For the vertex, the x value is the line of symmetry, and the y value is the line of symmetry plugged in for x and solved for y. So you'll have y equals negative 2 times 2 plus 3 times 2 minus 7. That red 2 is the line of symmetry, and that's why it's a different color. So you have y equals negative 2 times 5 times negative 5, which is negative 50. You want to put this as an ordered pair. So 2 is your x value, and 50 is your y value, so you should get 2, 50. Lastly, we want to graph the points and draw the function. If you notice it opens down, that is because in the equation there's a negative in front, meaning it'll open down instead of up. Our next example is another factored equation, so we're going to use the factored strategies instead of the standard. So for our x-intercepts, we're going to set each equal to 0, so x plus 4 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0, and we'll get x equals negative 4 and x equals negative 1. You'll want to write these as ordered pairs, so negative 4, 0 and negative 1, 0. For the y-intercept, just like in standard form, you plug in 0, so we'll have y equals 0 plus 4 times 0 plus 1, so y equals 4 times 1, which is y equals 4. Don't forget, it needs to be an ordered pair, so 0, 4. For the line of symmetry, you're going to add the intercepts together and divide by 2, so negative 4 plus negative 1 divided by 2 is negative 5 divided by 2. So your line of symmetry is x equals negative 2.5. For the vertex, your x value is your line of symmetry, and you plug the line of symmetry in for x to solve for y, for your y value. When you do that, you'll have negative 2.5 plus 4 times negative 2.5 plus 1, which gets you 1.5 times negative 1.5. So your y value of the vertex is negative 2.25. So the vertex ordered pair is negative 2.5, negative 2.25. Lastly, we want to plot the points and graph this. Make sure you have everything labeled, and your graph should open up since the equation is positive. Now our last example is in standard form, so we want to use the strategies that we used at the very beginning. For the x-intercepts, we're going to use the quadratic formula again, so negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So the opposite of b, or the opposite of 3, is negative 3 divided by 2 times 1, because 1 is the a value, plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 18 divided by 2 times 1. The negative 18 is the c value in the equation. And then 3 squared is 9, and then negative 4 times 1 times negative 18 is a positive 72, so you have negative 3 divided by 2 plus or minus the square root of 9 plus 72 divided by 2. Your next step is you want to add the 9 and the 72 together, so you have negative 3 divided by 2 plus or minus the square root of 81 divided by 2. And then the square root of 81 is 9, so you have negative 3 divided by 2 plus or minus 9 divided by 2. Then you want to split it off into adding and subtracting. So negative 3 plus 9 is 6. Negative 3 over 2 plus 9 over 2 is 6 over 2. And then negative 3 over 2 minus 9 over 2 is negative 12 over 2. So 6 over 2 is 3, and negative 12 over 2 is negative 6. But wait, we need to put them in ordered pairs, which is 3, 0, and negative 6, 0. For y-intercepts, you want to plug 0 in for x and solve for y, so you'll have 0 squared plus 3 times 0 minus 18, so 0 plus 0 minus 18. So y equals negative 18, and then your ordered pair would be 0, negative 18. Your line of symmetry is negative b over 2a. So the opposite of 3 is negative 3. Your a value is 1, so you'll have negative 3 over 2 times 1, which is negative 1.5. So your line of symmetry is x equals negative 1.5. Now your vertex, your x value is negative 1.5, since that's the line of symmetry, and you're going to plug that number in for x to find your y value. So you'll have negative 1.5 squared plus 3 times negative 1.5 minus 18. So y equals negative 20.25. So your x value is negative 1.5, negative 20.25 for your y value. That would be your ordered pair for vertex. And then you want to plot your points and label everything, and then draw your parabola, and you're done. Now try handout 9, problem 5 on your own.